Next speaker, please.
Patrice, Lynes, to be followed by Mark Catan.
Hi, good evening. John Adams said facts are stubborn things. So what are the facts? January 28th, when a quorum couldn't be reached due to financial conflicts of council and Rancon, a fishbowl was brought out and a conflicted councilman's name was drawn. Councilmember Comachero was chosen to vote. He is CEO and president of Rancon. He voted to abstain. Councilman Roberts should have recused himself. Not only does his son work for Rancon, according to the state of California, but Dan Stevenson is the owner and broker of Rancon Real Estate. Furthermore, Councilman Roberts works as a legislative assistant to Supervisor Jeff Stone. Ron has recused himself in the past when property came within 500 feet of the county line, and this property was within 500 feet. Why did you not recuse yourself? In addition to an ethics violation, Government Code 1090, the FPPC letter in the staff report of January 28th, agenda item 15, states that if any council member has a financial interest, he must disqualify himself, according to Government Code 87100. So in my opinion, the council has entered into a landmine of ethics violations, 1090 and Government Code 87100, which disallows a council member with economic interests to vote. Conflict of interest laws were required due to this being a discretionary, not ministerial vote. Mr. Thorson, on February 8th, you gave the rationale that it was ministerial, yet it was discretionary. In fact, you stated on January 28th it was discretionary. And that is why the conflict of interest law was applied. According to a legal expert, the FPPC only has authority to give advisory opinions, but does not have enforcement authority. This whole thing does not pass the smell test. An investigation needs to be done by the DA and the Attorney General. Basically, no man can serve two masters. And counsel, you are serving Rancon and Dan Stevenson, not the citizens of Temecula. Thank you.
Mr. City Attorney, would you like to respond?
Yes, I will. We disclosed all of the facts of the relationship of Mr. Comachero, Mr. Nagar, and Mr. Washington with respect to Rancon. Their advice was that on that particular matter, because the fact that there was going to be a subdivision improvement agreement, that they needed to recuse themselves, but because that dropped below the quorum level, the FPPC also said that random selection was appropriate. So that we followed their advice. The advice was prospective. And we did exactly what they told us to, and we even followed exactly what they determined to be the appropriate methodology for doing the random selection. That's why we used the clear bowl, so everybody could see exactly how that was being done. With respect to Mr. Roberts, even if his son did work for Rancon, there would not be a conflict because his son is not dependent. It's only dependent children of a council member that you count their economic interest. The fact that he may still be licensed as a real estate broker does not mean that he works for Rancon, and Mr. Roberts said that he doesn't work for Rancon, so there was no conflict of interest there. There's no county interest. They approved the Europa Vineyards project many years ago, so there's nothing pending there. So in my opinion, and in the opinion of the FPPC attorneys, we have done everything proper in addressing that particular development.
The FPPC being the agency that upholds the law or monitors compliance with the law.
Yes, the Fair Political Practices Commission, they interpret and enforce both the Fair Political Practices Act and Government Code Section 1090.
So they do enforce?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And Jeff, did you want to say?
You addressed my point. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Nope. All right. Next speaker, please.
Mark Catan.